Well, welcome. Before we get started, I have a question for you. How many of you are using some form of Bluetooth tracking device for your keys, wallet, kids? All of the above. It's an example of a technology that is super simple, and yet it solves a big problem, one that many of us have. I mean, I left my wallet in the rental car yesterday, and I was able to track where it was because I had one of these. But it's just one example of technology that can help solve other problems, big problems. You may not notice that Unisys produces these as well. Well, that's not quite true. We're actually giving these away. So the first person, those of you who came early in the front row, raises your hand, gets one. There you go, Aaron. So we're all here because we like technology. We're at Ignite to absorb all of the new things that Microsoft is promising, and really the hundreds of vendors that are here as well, and the direction that they're going. Now, we're here because we like technology, but when we get back home, there's many naysayers, right? It can be challenged to get technology deployed. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to use 3 technologies today, you could begin using them today, to help enable the deployment of technology to be more successful so that it's more supportable and it operates once it's deployed. We're going to look at the use of artificial intelligence, automation, and augmented reality. Before we do, I'm going to mention a study. Carrie Lake is with us here from our marketing team, and she's part of a team that this year surveyed 12,000 workers around the world in 12 different countries to see how their companies use technology, and then to evaluate how the employees themselves feel about their job and the use of technology. And what they found is if we were to categorize technology leaders, and no doubt many of you feel you work for a leader today, or if not, you might be looking to in the near future. Your company uses the technology quickly. You think about how to adopt it, how to bring it in, how to support it. Technology leaders. Technology laggards, we might think about when the smartphone first came in to the enterprise and CIOs got one for Christmas and handed it to IT department and says, make it work. I want email, I want context, everything on there. And we just, whoa, that's not secure. Technology laggards, on the other hand, are slow to adopt technology. In our study, we found that has an impact on the employees. This is a global data here that they're 7 times more likely to be frustrated with their job, not happy, don't have a good opinion of the company. And interestingly, globally, 6 times more likely to quit than if they work for a technology leader. You might think for yourself, how do you feel about your company and where does this fit in? It's interesting, I said we did this with 12 different parts of the world. 5 here in the Americas, 4 in Europe, 3 in the APAC region. The United States, only 4 times more likely to quit. So I don't know what that says about us in the US. We're willing to put up with more silliness, we might say, I don't know. But I'll let you come to your own conclusions. This research is available. We'll show you the link to it at the end. You can come to our booth. We're all the way down at the end, straight back from here, and you can get more information on that. You can even participate in a survey. So let's get into how we can use 3 technologies to help deploy and support technology in the enterprise. We're going to use an example here. Perhaps this might even apply to you. You're here at Ignite, you're hearing some new technology, you're thinking, like in this case here, our manager is thinking, on Monday, I'm going to start a HoloLens project. And she's already got 3 contractors lined up, ready to go. But now she's thinking, well, what do they need to be productive? How are they going to be able to do this? So we're going to look at the use of artificial intelligence and automation that can help her with that. Now in the past, she might be thinking, okay, I need devices. I have to get laptops deployed to these people. I got a HR service request. I've got identity management, security requests, Office 365, boom, 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 right. And even if she's done this a few times, it's a hassle, right, knowing how to do all that. Wouldn't it be nice if she could have a friend, a trusted friend, look over her shoulder and kind of guide her through this? So that's what we're going to demonstrate here. Is here she's talking to not a human, but an intelligent agent that has been trained specifically for this business process because it's something that's done fairly often. She's explaining the problem, says, hey, I've got 3 contractors coming Monday, HoloLens project, what do I do? What are my options? So the intelligent agent can be trained to work through various options. Here she's saying, well, you can either go through virtual desktops, we can have them deployed, or we could go through some physical laptops. Well, the manager could then come back and actually have a conversation and say, well, what are the trade-offs? I'm not quite sure. What would be the benefit of a virtual desktop versus a physical? And so here the intelligent agent is able to guide through saying, here's the pros and cons. Virtual desktops, quicker, connectivity is required, and so on. Here's the pros and cons for a physical laptop. And that lets the manager make a decision. Here the manager decides, well, I'm going to, because they're starting on Monday, I think the virtual desktops will be the best solution here in this particular case. So she continues the discussion, and the intelligent agent says, well, there's really two choices here of virtual desktops in my catalog. I've got a standard and an enterprise. Okay, well, I'm not sure which I need. So she again communicates with IVA to say, well, what are my options here? Tell me about the enterprise, give me the specs on that. She sees what's reported there and says, yep, I'm gonna go with the enterprise ones. Now we could stop here. That would be nice enough, right? To be guided through this process and know that the automation on the back end is being taken care of for me. So I've got both the guidance and the automation. But since these three programmers are gonna be working on a HoloLens project, they also need a dev environment. And so while engaged with IVA, the manager asks for some help with that. I need a development environment as well. Now here, in your particular business, you might have a blueprint in Azure for the specific servers for a certain size number of developers. That might be pre-configured. And here, in this case, it's just a simple choice of interacting with the intelligent agent to say, make it so, make it happen. And on the back end, it works out. So this is really an example of two different technologies, artificial intelligence that is trained for specific business processes, tied to back-end automations to various systems in order to make this technology be usable, in this case, the development of a HoloLens in the enterprise.
So Weston is going to recap what he just talked about, and I'm giving you a heads up that when he's done recapping, I'm going to ask you all if you have any ideas on how you might use that business process or IT process, and I have some of these for people that have answers.
More Bluetooth trackers.
Okay.
And I always like this, every time I engage with an audience on this, there's new ideas that I haven't thought about that we hear from your industry. So just to recap what we did here, this is working with artificial intelligence that is trained specifically for a repeatable process to reduce the labor, reduce the work, improve the reliability, eliminate the human error for certain tasks, and identifying where you can have automation that can be tied to that intelligent agent. So what are your thoughts? Where else might you use this in your particular area?
You're right here. He said IT service desk.
That is an excellent area of using it. A lot of low-hanging fruit there. And yes, you here, sir? Onboarding of new employees. Absolutely.
Onboarding new
yes.
employee.
And in the back there, sir? I'll have to have someone repeat that. What? Oh, yes, bring your own device. Oh, absolutely, yes, a lot of complexity there. All right.
Who is that in the red hat?
It's have the red hat there. Yeah,
all right.
Very good. And one more in the very back while you're back there. Manufacturing, yes, the complexity of manufacturing and getting guidance on how to maintain and keep those things going. Well, we'll now take a look at the second example of using technology to help support, to enable the deployment of other technology. The example we're using here, I mean, many of us probably flew into Orlando. See the map there? Anybody fly into Orlando to get here? Yeah, it's probably most of us. And I tell you, airlines and airports are really good examples of adopting new technology. They were some of the first to start using smartphones in their business on a just a reliable, regular basis. We see them using IoT and sensors and beacons in the airports. We see them just recently, was in Germany, facial recognition for the Border Patrol is being used there. And now some of the commercial airlines in the US I've noticed are beginning testing facial recognition at the gates as well. Now the problem is, when you bring in new technology, whatever it is, to your organization, you need experts to support it, right? And that can be a barrier because those experts are expensive, and you either need a lot of experts if you're distributed, or you say, I'm going to only pay for a few experts, but I'll put up with the travel time to have the problem solved. In this case here, our expert, Carrie, is at the Tampa airport working on a facial recognition system there. I'm in Orlando. I need help right this minute. So what do? We're going to use augmented reality to bring those two together. So let's take a look at what that looks like. And Carrie, if you can help me out here, I'm going to give you your smartphone.
Sure.
I'm dealing with the facial recognition system here, error 52. I've had some basic training on it, but I think I'm going to need a little bit more help. So I'm going to initiate a call to Carrie. Let me switch over to number 6 here. You should see that on the screen here. Very good. Give her a call.
Hey, Weston.
Hey, Carrie, how's it going?
It's good here. How's it going there?
Not good. I'm in Orlando. It looks like you're not in Orlando. You're the only expert that knows how to fix this facial recognition system. And where are you, by the way, and how quickly can you get here?
I'm in Tampa. I'm hours away, and I can't get there anytime soon. So maybe I can give you some help via augmented reality.
Well, okay, let's try it. See how that works.
Okay. Show me what you're looking at.
All right. Well, here's the back panel. On the front, it says error 52, but this back panel, I haven't had training on this.
Yep, no problem. I can walk you through it. What you're going to want to do is this knob right down here. Can you see where I'm pointing to that?
Yeah, this knob here?
That's the one. That's the first step in the process. So
Okay.
you're going to turn that knob, and then you're going to go over here to the right side, these bottom 2 buttons. You're going to push those. That's going to reset the system for you.
Okay, these 2 buttons here as well. Got that. Okay.
That's right. Now, whatever you do, don't touch these buttons at the top
Oh.
because you don't want to do that.
Okay, all right. I think I can remember that. Is there anything else you can help me do?
Sure.
So that I won't forget?
Yeah, let me send you some notes on that so you don't forget. So first, step 1, right here, the knob, all right? And then step 2, these bottom 2 buttons, that's step 2.
Okay, got
and
that.
Again, don't forget, don't touch these buttons at the top, okay?
Okay, all those hash marks will definitely remind me not to touch that. Okay, I think I can do this. I think this will help me out tremendously. Hey, if I have any more problems, can I call you back?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Carrie.
Okay. Now again, Weston's going to recap what you saw, and I have a really big purse, so it holds a lot of those things. I might have a few left. After he recaps, we'll ask you for ideas on how you might use this kind of technology.
So there are times when artificial intelligence or even talking on the phone or doing something remotely isn't going to solve the problem. There's still times where you need in-person support. That's not going away anytime soon. The challenge is, as we get new technology coming into our environment, we need people, specialists, trained on how to support and maintain these things. And the list just keeps growing. You were probably, as you made notes here about things you were going to investigate at Microsoft Ignite, your list was probably growing. So the challenge is, how do we minimize the number of experts, eliminate the travel time, and get close to the expert in a meaningful way? Augmented reality, we're finding, is very helpful. We did 4 pilots last year, both in the US and in Brazil, and decided this will really help us with our field support. So we have over 4,000 field support agents globally, and they are all receiving this technology. We have a contest with them internally, in-house, where we're giving away a tablet to whichever field agent can come up with the coolest idea on how to use augmented reality with our customer base there. But I'm curious, where else might you think this might be useful? We'll start with the woman right here, please.
I've got 4 of these.
Okay. I like that. What I heard, if I heard you correctly, is the telecom cabinets. And if we've opened those up and the plethora of wires and switches and cables, and like the don't touch this one, that could be very useful, especially when they don't have an expert. And then right behind you, sir.
In the oil business, we have drilling rig and offshore platform, so the expert don't ever go directly there. So from the main office, we could help with that.
So what I heard was an offshore drilling platform. I think that is a brilliant example, especially since we're concerned about the cost of travel. That's a helicopter ride or a submarine, one of the two.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Good example. And we'll get the man here on the far end, please. Your thought?
It's you.
Yes.
General contracting work. General contractor.
Oh yes, general contractors. So even outside of the realm of IT, this would be very useful. And inspections are related to that as well. Checking on something. How long do we have to wait on an inspector in general contracting? Well, I'm over here. Now bring them locally. And we got one more idea back here, please.
Aircraft maintenance.
Aircraft maintenance. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm out of these, but we have them in our booth. You can come by, give us your idea, and get one.
Very good. Well, I as always, enjoy hearing the different ideas. I heard several today that weren't on my list. So just to recap, what we've heard here today is just really how to use three technologies that are available today. Some of these are evolving. So for example, with the artificial intelligence, we've heard so much at this event about AI. We see that being tied with things like Teams in a year from now. So Teams might be the front end, and then we have an intelligent agent on the back end. One thing to be thinking about with that is, I may have multiple intelligent agents. And our recommendation is to have a single intelligent agent really at your service desk that knows how to integrate with these other intelligent agents as they start showing up. And we're going to start to see more and more AI coming out of Microsoft. How do we tie into that? That integration point will be very important in the future. The second one was automation. So once you have the artificial intelligence, gluing that to automation so that it's much more reliable when people are using the new technology. And then when you need in-person support, the augmented reality that we just saw here. So I invite you to come down to the booth. As I said, if you go straight back, we're about 4 rows from the back wall there, the Unisys booth. I mentioned the Digital Divide Survey. You can have full access to that, as well as participate. Carrie and her team, Kara's over there as well, will be able to help you answer 5 simple questions to kind of see where your company fits in terms of the technology laggard versus leaders. And we can give other demonstrations there as well. My contact information is there. Love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out. Been a great audience. Thank you very much.